Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
This is probably more of a weekend ramble. I mean, it is Sunday.
Again, we did that yesterday, too.
What's wrong with rambling?
Oh, nothing. It's my specialty.
I want to talk about upcoming Star Wars projects. What can we expect out of 2024?
Okay.
Because, obviously, 2024 is coming. The actor strike, they're working on it. I think it's going to get resolved shortly. I feel like we've hit a turning point. And once that's done, I think it's full steam ahead.
Yeah, once that's done, I think it is pedal to the metal. Let's try to get some content out. It almost might be a bad thing because you're going to probably see these studios trying to really race stuff out to try to patch the holes that are coming.
I don't know. A lot of companies did the same thing Star Wars did, and they've got content to put out.
Sure.
They just had so much pushback. It's almost like they have to rely on each other to fill gaps. It's weird.
I don't think they're going to work very well together.
No, probably not. But from Star Wars in January, we're expecting a skeleton crew.
That's the guess, yeah.
That is the guess. That's the rumor. That's what we've kind of heard in the wind.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be
November.
Yeah, but that, unless something weird is about to happen, like some big announcement in end of November, but no, I don't think so.
Which means we should be expecting a trailer.
Fairly soon.
I mean, if it's coming out in January, I'm expecting mid-November, late November.
I'm going to give you my guess. I'm going to say everything is in limbo until that actor strike is over. Because once that is over, they can drop a trailer and immediately start doing interviews. Yeah, because at least with Ahsoka, they had recorded things before the strike ever started. So they could still put these little tidbits out there as if they were, from now, quote unquote, even though they were from like May or something, or Star Wars Celebration.
They might actually still have some of that from Skeleton Crew, though.
They may.
They had like a showcase panel type thing in the big event.
But I would imagine they look at Ahsoka's numbers and probably are thinking, wow, if we would have had the actors out there, probably would have done better.
I think a lot of shows are on that exact same boat, too.
So I'm going to assume we don't get any kind of start until that thing is resolved and we know we can get the actors, we can do the rounds, we can get the interviews going, we can get the hype going.
I feel at the very latest, you're going to be seeing this cropping up in December. At the very latest.
Assuming the actor strike wraps up soon, yeah.
Because in December on Disney Plus and on TV, people want to watch Christmas movies and holiday stuff. And I feel like people watch more movies.
I think it's like
plus kids are home from school. You want to watch these family things together. Why not throw out those advertisements for our Goonies, E.T. family show while families are watching TV around the holidays?
Yeah. Plus, it's that time of the year where people tend to be indoors a lot more than outdoors. Wintertime.
Yes.
Especially in our neck of the woods, as they say.
Yeah, the snow kind of puts a
the snow and the 0 degrees and,
too cold to be out.
Yeah.
So I think by early December at the very latest, I think we're going to be getting the Skeleton Crew trailer, and they're going to start pushing hard.
Yeah, as long as like I said, as long as the actor strike is done, I think so. Because really, we have Jude Law on this thing, right? He is going to be your front and center guy. Yes. He's your well-known actor. He's got to be out there trying to sell this thing.
Mm-hmm. Next, after that, we are going to be getting the Acolyte. I think we're going to be getting that around spring.
Yeah.
I think they're going to give some cool-down time after Skeleton Crew, and then I think next up we're going to be seeing Acolyte.
Yeah.
Acolyte, I think, might be one of the top things people are looking forward to next year. It's new. It's a different time period. They can kind of, they don't have it as much to stick to. They're not worried about fitting in between the shows.
I disagree with that. I would say when you are trying to kind of set up the prequels, you have to be very cautious here. Especially if you're dealing with the Sith.
But it's nice that they're not going to run into too many character issues like they did in Kenobi.
Well, sure, in that case.
Or other projects where they're like, we have to use all these pre-existing characters. Well, the Acolyte doesn't have to worry so much about pre-existing characters because of the time frame they're set in.
For the most part.
And it might drum up some interest in the High Republic era, for all we know.
The problem with it is it takes place at the tail end of it. It's not really going to have anything to do with the books and the comics, in theory.
Maybe success from the Acolyte will make Disney look more into the High Republic's direction for projects.
I don't know. I'd be surprised if the Acolyte isn't a success.
It looks interesting. From
yes, but you're
the pirate trailer.
Well, I mean, here's the problem. We already know there's controversy around it.
And controversy sometimes makes things more interesting.
Well, that actually draws more attention to it. Like, that's going to be the odd thing. There's going to be so many, YouTubers and such out there that are just going to pile on this thing that it's actually going to pique curiosity.
Right.
Especially if the other side of the table is saying, hey, this is pretty good.
I'm really hoping it is good. I'm hoping we get a lot of good Star Wars projects next year.
I always root for Star Wars despite everything else. despite being owned by Disney, despite who may be, responsible for bringing us the Acolyte and some of the things she said. I'm always going to root for Star Wars. You can say that's the wrong way to look at it, that it's, you disagree, that's fine. But that's my standpoint.
All right, and then from my point of view, I feel the next project that'll hit is going to be Bad Batch, final season, season 3.
I could almost see Bad Batch final season before Acolyte, too.
No, I think it's going to be after. I think they're going to do live action, then animation.
Well, we'd have a lot of
animation, They might even overlap animation with live action. They did it with...
They did do it
they
with
did
Bad
it
Batch
with Bad Batch and Mando.
It's true.
I would actually prefer that they didn't, but I like to watch my Star Wars one thing at a time so I can devote all my focus to it.
It's a joyful misery to have two shows going at the same time when you're trying to be a content creator.
No, but I would like Bad Batch, the final season, to come out sometime after Acolyte. If I'm picking Acolyte for the spring, and I'm putting it probably April, maybe May. Maybe it'll be on May the 4th thing.
Well, if January is the Skeleton Crew, that's going to go through February, maybe early March.
So I'm going to guess maybe May the 4th is going to be our Acolyte.
Yeah.
That would be okay. I'd be okay with that. Acolyte in May. Then I'm gonna put Bad Batch at maybe August, because they do have to push things back. I know something else was scheduled for August, but I think we're gonna put Bad Batch in August.
Okay, that seems like a solid. I could see it actually being earlier.
I'm really hoping that they don't have too many filler episodes, that they kind of keep the momentum they ended the last season with.
Well, the way the last season ended, I mean,
we had momentum.
There's going to be those quote-unquote filler episodes in this season again. I think that it's going to be another 13-episode season. It's not going to be jammed to the walls like we all kind of want it to be jammed to the walls, whatever that means. But, I don't think it's going to be like breakneck, here you go, here's this really tight, well-told story. I think it's just going to be like the other two seasons where you have some really, really good episodes and then some where you're like, that's fine.
And then we have Andor Season 2, the final season of Andor. I'm going to put it in the fall.
Absolutely.
I'm saying originally it said August. That's the speculation date. I'm going to put it back to maybe mid to late fall.
Yeah.
That's going to be our end of the year banger.
Oh, and it should be a banger.
Like you said, they have not they were weeks, if not a month from being done with recording.
Yeah.
When the actor strike started. So everyone has to come back, schedules have to reconvene, people kind of got to get back to where they were, because you take a break from something and you got to jump back into where you were. Yeah. I don't want to be watching it and go, I think this scene was filmed
it's gonna
months
be
later, because things don't feel quite right.
You may have some of that depending on how well they mask it, yeah.
So I'm pegging this one in the fall. Maybe late fall.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Then we have our wild card, Tales of the Jedi Season 2. They released all of it at once the last time they released it.
Yeah.
So this could literally come at any point during the year, and it's going to be just a dump. Boom, here it is.
You know what I wish Tales of the Jedi was? Something that just kind of randomly just showed up and was just a couple, basically like an episode of Clone Wars. Because that's, when you compile them all together, that's what you're getting. Maybe like a long episode of Clone Wars. Whenever you feel like you got a little story you want to tell, there's a Tales of the Jedi. We're going to drop one.
I kind of hope that they actually follow the formula they did for the first season. They did 6 episodes, 3 Ahsoka, 3 Count Dooku. I kind of like the 3 and 3, because you gave us the Count Dooku story. The 3 were from 3 different points in his life, but it gave us such a broad range look at his character over time that it was interesting. So I'd kind of be okay with them doing the 3 and 3 again. And believe it or not, I do want them to put 3 on Ahsoka again.
Why?
I want to see some of the points that were missing between the series. I want to see, where did Ahsoka go after she came back from the world between worlds, before she turned up again to help Sabine.
What about Luke? Do we get the first encounter with Luke?
Ooh, that could be...
animation?
We could have Luke. We could have that. We could have that one I talked about, and then another random one somewhere.
Probably what it will be, let's be honest.
I'm okay with having 3 more Ahsoka ones, showing us more of her story, and then pick somebody else. I don't know who, but somebody else.
Well, there's a lot of choices.
There are a lot of choices.
There's just almost an infinite number of characters in theory.
Interestingly, they could pick Luke.
They could.
They could show us, and as much as I don't exactly want to see it, we could see some of his time at the school before it all went to hell.
Maybe.
It'd be kind of cool to see him building his school or working on something.
Well, if you had the first encounter between Luke and Ahsoka, you could then transition. They could kind of, the two different, assuming they keep the same formula like you're suggesting, the two different ones could kind of be linked together.
It could be. But I would like to see 3 on a different Jedi. We could even do Ezra. We could just get 3 stories of his life out in the new galaxy. It would also maybe bring people into watching Ahsoka.
Maybe.
Or at least wanting to see more of his story. And then we have Star Wars Outlaws is due to come next year. That's our open world Star Wars RPG.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Looked interesting.
It looks interesting.
Everyone likes Naughty Droid.
I don't think that's his name.
No, he's ND something, though.
Yeah, he's Commando Droid.
It's the trench coat. It's too much personality in that trench coat.
Jeez.
Makes it look like he's got abs and stuff. It's really weird. I don't know why.
It is a little weird.
But yeah, Star Wars Outlaws is coming out next year. That has been promised.
Well, yeah, promised. And
promised.
Until we have like a set date and all that stuff.
Promised. And don't forget, Star Wars Hunters could come out next year.
Somehow, Star Wars Hunters has been released.
I would love it if there was a story mode to the game because I read the book.
You
I've
did?
said it 100 times. I read the Star Wars Hunters book, and if you read it and kind of read it with a comical nature or attitude to it, it's a good enough book. It's funny. It's if you want to see pro wrestling translated into the Star Wars universe, this is kind of what it is.
All right.
Right. There isn't a Sith. There isn't a Jedi. Everyone's playing a role. These are their characters. You've got your faces and your heels, as the WWE would say. And it was entertaining. So I'm kind of interested to see the game, to try it out. It might be just, a fun little thing. But maybe it'll come out next year. It's been promised for like the last 4 years. So we're due to get it someday.
It's been a while. I don't know. That might be one of those games that just never actually materializes.
I mean, we have a big slate coming for 2024 Star Wars if this can all happen the way I want it to.
You want it to, yeah. But there's Disney.
We got 3 live-action shows, a full live-action animated show, a little Tales of the Jedi, and a video game. Yeah, Sign me up.
In all reality, that's a hell of a year.
Maybe a mobile
probably
game.
Not. Plus some books and comics and all that other fun stuff.
Yeah, we've got that Force book coming out that I know you really mentioned, the Living Force book?
Well, the road trip of the Jedi Order, yeah, or the Council, yeah. Well, we'll see about that one.
We'll see. I
mean, Jonathan Jackson Miller's, he's a good writer, so there's hope there. Plus there'll be some others they haven't announced yet, and who knows what else will come out next year.
Yeah. They'll finish off the High Republic.
Yeah, Phase
saga.
3 will be
done. That's going to be done. And we'll move into other books about other things, perhaps.
Maybe they'll have another new big project that they will announce next year.
The Higher Republic. The Lower Republic?
No, the Higher Republic.
And don't forget, there's no Star Wars Celebration next year, so we'll hear news from D23 and all that, because they're going to have a huge Star Wars Celebration the following year, because that's going to be leading into our Star Wars movie.
Yeah, the whole new era.
Yeah.
Probably a Kathleen Kennedy-free era, some are guessing. But that's
so
a whole
no celebration for 2024. I think we could expect big things from 2025, because they're going to start leading into our movie that's coming.
Yeah, that will be the beginning of the hype. Assuming it actually does happen. I mean, I won't believe another Star Wars.
I know, they'll be like, well, the actors strike.
In the theater. I don't know. All right, well, that is going to be all we got for you this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think about the 2024, the year to come for Star Wars. Is this a good one? Is it a bad one? Or, well, I hope it is.
It looks that way.
Well, whatever you think, though, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.